What is that? I've heard whispers, maybe you've heard them too, of an amazing game in production right now, Oathsworn Into the Deepwood. What is it, and should you be excited? Hello everyone, and welcome back to the BattleCast. I had the pleasure of playing an entire chapter of Oathsworn Into the Deepwood with the game director Jamie, and I wanted to make a video talking about the wonderful time that I had and the excitement I still feel about this game, having played it several days ago. So the first question I want to answer is, what is Oathsworn Into the Deepwood? Oathsworn is a game that is massive in scale and is being created by top-tier industry veterans. Think if maybe the Avengers wanted to make a board game. Oathsworn is hard to describe because there are so many game systems and it's just such a massive game. The game takes place in a rich, dark, fully realized fantasy world that has been consumed by the Deepwood. This team has been building this world for years and the lore is amazing. Mankind has collapsed due to starvation and the horrific creatures unleashed from the Deepwood. Life is cheap. You play as an Oathsworn, individual sworn to fight and die to try and keep some humanity intact and free of the Deepwood. There are many reasons why one would choose to become an Oathsworn, and each of the heroes that are in Oathsworn Into the Deepwood have a great backstory as to why they've made that choice. This game is for 1 to 4 players. Play sessions can take anywhere from an hour to 3 hours depending on how much you want to bite off in one go. It is a dark fantasy dungeon crawler with multi-path, interactive legacy story elements. It boasts some beautifully detailed maps, amazing art, and the game can be played with it being fully voice acted by none other than Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones. There are massive miniatures that come with this game, and I think most importantly, some amazingly unique and dynamic boss fights that take place in multiple phases. So now that you have an idea of what this game is, I'm going to go through some of the best parts that I had when I played more than 3 hours of this game the other day. Firstly, I want to touch on the writing. It is amazing. Writing does not make a good game. Many great games out there have okay writing, as gameplay is by far the most important aspect, but damn does this game have both. I would have gladly spent another hour traveling around the town of Bastogne, interacting with its habitants and finding mysteries if my party leader didn't pride himself in his professionalism. The high quality of writing is due to the fact that this story is being written by a New York Times best-selling author and a talented several other writers with him at the helm. The description of the areas that you travel through, the dialogue, all of it feels as if I was reading a book that I wanted to read on my own time, like a Brandon Sanderson novel or a Patrick Rothfuss book. While choosing my own adventure in Bastogne, I felt like my decisions had realistic, entertaining outcomes, as well as rewarding or penalizing me appropriately. Stay on task and don't wander, and maybe you conserve energy that you can use later in a fight. Help someone in need, and you might feel empowered, which you can use later on. Engage in unnecessary violence, and you may lose some of your precious health pool when you have bigger fish to fry. Oathsworn Into the Deepwood uses a hybrid card and dice system for skill checks and combat. A player can use dice or cards, or any combination of both. Dice and cards come in 4 different colors, with white being the weakest, yellow being average, red being strong, and black being destructive. A player can take any amount of white cards or white dice, and then, through tokens acquired while playing the game, upgrade those cards or dice to the higher color and therefore higher power levels. During a check, if 2 blanks are rolled or revealed, the whole skill check or combat attack fails. This is a seriously stressful push your luck mechanic. There are also exploding dice and cards in this game where if you flip over a critical, you get to draw another card or roll another dice, and if it's a blank, it doesn't penalize you. The reason one might choose cards over dice is that the deck is set. You will see a proportionate amount of successes and failures every time you go through the deck. You can also count cards to work out your probability. The dice can be a cruel mistress, but sometimes it's the RNG you need to pull yourself out of a sticky situation. Quite literally, when I was playing with Jamie, we were failing card flip after card flip, and it wasn't until I just went crazy on the dice that we started to pull ourselves out of a dire situation. Now, combat in Oathsworn also has some very interesting and new mechanics, and I'm going to do my best to kind of illustrate them on the screen here. In this game, combat takes place on a huge hex-based map that is set up in a unique fashion depending on what boss you are fighting. Boss fights are long, and many players may play the story aspect of the chapter one night and the battle aspect of a chapter another night. These boss fights are a multi-phased, dynamic fight for your life. Each boss has 3 decks with a wide array of thematic abilities that you will go through depending on what phase it is at during the fight. Now, in Oathsworn, bosses actually face directions, and they have individual HP for various parts of their body. Sort of like a Shadow of the Colossus feel, except you're not climbing on bosses. Killing some areas of a boss before others can benefit the players greatly. However, killing body parts is often met with swift and brutal retribution. Oathsworn into the Deepwood uses a very cool combat system called Battle Flow. Ability cards have a value of 1 through 3. On the player board, cards with a value of 1 are placed on the left, 2 on the top, and 3 on the right of the player board. In order to get that card back into your hand, players have to get the card to move counterclockwise around their board until it ends up in front of them, at which case they will pick it up at the beginning of their turn. If I have a card in the 3 spot, that is the right side of my player board, and I play another 3 valued card, the card that was in that spot now moves into the 2 spot. If I then play a 2 valued card, all of the cards in the 2 slot move to the 1 slot, etc., until the cards end up in front of you and you take them back to your hand. This flow, this system, in my opinion, really accurately represents the kind of rhythm a skilled warrior would get into when doing wet work. I haven't seen a mechanic like this before, but when you get a good skill rhythm going, it feels amazing. Oathsworn into the Deepwood is an artisan game. The production quality that they have in mind is baffling. The miniatures are going to be massive. The rat miniature that they have revealed is like the actual size of a rat. The artwork is stunning, and I have seen many hero cards in this game and boss cards, and they're beautiful and horrific to the eyes. This game comes with both a book that can lead you through the story or an app that is fully voice acted. They wanted you to be able to play this game whether you used an app or not, and whether you wanted to play it many years down the road. The storage system of this game promises to be fit for a game with this many components and size, boasting a 5 to 10 minute setup in between games. They also have a clever save system and a way to play this game with your friend's character if, for example, they weren't able to make the game night that night. And when they come back, they get the full benefits of having played that mission. Now, the price of this game is going to be similar to that of Gloomhaven or Tainted Grail. There will be a mini or a standee option, which I love, because as much as I love miniatures, I find they take up a good amount of space, and I never get around to painting them, so I would rather just have a standee that has the beautiful colored artwork on it already. So when is this game happening? Well, the Kickstarter is going to start on October 8th, or at least that's as far as I can tell by the countdown timer on their website. I suggest you start saving now because this game looks to be a year-defining game of epic proportion. Should you be excited? 100% you should be. Let me know if you guys are feeling excited about Oathsworn into the Deepwood. This game seems to be epic in proportion, and I'm still buzzing off of the great time I had playing it the other day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. New videos come out every Friday or Saturday. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like or even subscribing to the channel, or you can leave me a comment in the section below. Until next video, I'll see you then. Thanks.